Hey guys, what up? Curtis Riggleman here in beautiful Tracy, California. I just finished up doing a training with some of my guys right now. We were talking about building rapport. And building rapport today, 2024, is a lot different than when I got in the business, 20 years ago. You had more time back then to spend a little more time to talk about things. Today, everything is very fast-paced, and the average customer today spends 15 hours doing research on their own, 2 weeks typically, before coming to the lot. So they know a lot about the car. And when they get out of their vehicle and you do an introduction, they generally know what they want. So you only have a certain amount of time from when you introduce them to you get to the car that they came to see. There's not a lot of time walking around the lot. There's not a lot of passive time to build conversation. So you kind of got to get to the point now. And if you're doing rapport building and I only have 3 or 4 minutes before I arrive at the car, there's some things I need to get in that 3 or 4 minutes that are going to be important to close the deal later. So some tips I have. First thing I do after I do my introduction, even if there's only one person standing there, I'll ask, so who's the lucky one getting a new car today? Then I'll go right into the next part of it. So after I do who's the lucky one getting a new car, and he goes, oh, it's just for me. Okay, perfect. How long have you been thinking about getting a new car? And they may tell me a couple weeks, 3 weeks, something like that. Okay, perfect. If you don't mind me asking, where'd you drive in from today? If they tell me somewhere 10, 15, 20 miles away, I know there's another car lot between here and there that could have got to closer. So I know I have exactly what they want. And then I'll mention that and I'll say, okay, great. Well, that's a little bit of a drive from here. What is it about this car that jumped out to you? What is it about this one that you like the most? And then I'll get them talking about the vehicle. And this is still rapport building because this is a subject that they care about. They've done 15 hours of research on this car, so they're interested in this conversation. They'll start telling me what they like about the vehicle. Okay, great. So let me ask you this. If everything works out today and you get to drive this new car home, where's the first place you plan on taking your new vehicle? By this time, I'm getting close to the car. I'm running out of time and I want to get some emotions flowing. So I want to start giving them a visual of them having ownership of this vehicle and where they're going to take it. So they may say, where I'm from, Fresno, the closest beach is Pismo. In fact, they call it Fresno Beach because so many people from Fresno go there. So they might say that. That's where a lot of people refer to. They go, oh, I'm going to take it to Pismo this weekend. Okay, great. And we'll start talking about Pismo. So there I'll get the emotions flowing on the emotional side of it. But in that 3 or 4 minutes that I only have, when I get inside the booth and it's time to close the car deal now, and generally that first pencil, that big one that scares them, they'll look for ways out. They'll say, oh, well, this is the first place I've stopped, or I need to get my wife involved, or whatever the case is. So that's why the very first question I ask them, who's the lucky one getting a new car? And when they tell me this, it's just for me, I know I don't need anybody else to make this car deal decision. So they can't say, I need someone now, or it's for someone else. Or they can't say, I removed time by asking them, how long you been shopping for a new vehicle? They tell me a couple weeks. I know the average shopper shops 2 weeks before he makes a buying decision. So when they don't like that first pencil and they say, oh, well, I'm just getting started, I still got to look at this or that, I'll remind them, hey, I asked you earlier how long you've been thinking about buying a car. You told me a couple weeks. My guess is you don't need any more time to think about this. My guess is there's something on this piece of paper that you don't like. Am I right? And I can get back to closing the car deal based on the information I collected up front. When it comes time to get a bump, get hot buttons, that's why I asked him specifically, what is on this car that jumped out to you? You drove 20 miles to get here. You passed other Nissan dealers to get here. What is it about this one that jumped out to you? And when I brought that up in the initial beginning and their guards down, they'll give me information I need. They'll tell me things like, oh, well, you guys happen to have the exact color that I wanted. I looked online. I couldn't find it at the dealership closest to me, but you guys had it. Whatever the case is, they'll give me that information up front to where if I ask this in the closing scenario, they won't give me that information. So use that 3 or 4 minutes between meeting them at their car and getting to the car that they came to see. Make sure you use that 3 or 4 minutes to get the information you need to close the car deal. Don't waste that opportunity. You can't get it back. I can't ask these questions later because they'll know that they're going to be held against them. So they won't answer these questions. And don't walk 10 feet in front of your customer, because now you're not getting any information that you can use to close the car deal. So use that 3 or 4 minutes wisely. Okay, who's the lucky one getting a new car today? How long you've been thinking about getting a new car? If you don't mind me asking, where'd you drive in from today? Perfect, that's a long drive to come here. What is it about this one that jumped out to you? What do you like most about this car? Get those hot buttons. Once I got that, those are the 4 things I need to close my car deal. Now I'll go into emotional rapport. If this works out today, where's the first place you plan on taking your new car? And I'll work off that emotion. There you go, guys. Hope this helped.